Okay. Okay, everybody, I'm recording this session. So this, if you can ask me for the recording, I can send it to you guys or out there so you can hear it again. So as I was saying to you, there's a lot of changes. Do you remember what I said? What changes? Now, it doesn't matter. It's going to change for you guys anyway. So it's going to be good for you guys. So I was saying that environment, for the recording purposes, is changing, environmentally, climate, even the planet, the earth, the structure is changing. Okay. And spiritually is changing, like religion is completely changing landscape of religion. Okay. Socially, people are using religion very differently. It's like I saw a church called Red Church. It's like, what is that? And every corner, there's somebody else that comes up with another church with another name of another thing. So it's like we were driving down the road and says, what could we name the church? The real one. The only one, right? The original, I like that. There you go. Name a church, the original. So people have so many churches. And so what is that? Yes. So spirituality is changing so fast, and our mental capacity of human beings are really expanding in exponentially. Yes. I mean, the capacity for us to absorb, to learn, and we've got many tools to remember better, to see things better, to understand better. And we have, how many of you have a phone that has a translator now? So we understand things internationally so much better. And the bad news about that is we hear so many bad news so quickly all over the world. We're connected on the internet. We see so many bad news all over the world. And they don't focus on the good news that happens all over the world. Like William changing his
Alex, there's no sound.
Audio.
No audio.
And the screen is frozen.
Yeah, his
is, but the other one is still moving. So maybe it's the camera.
Okay, can you all hear me now?
Yes.
Yay! Somehow I got muted. I don't know how, but okay. Actually, I do know how, but I just want you to get your thank you for reminding me. Okay. For the new people, how many of you all hear things that is from somewhere else? From above, from somewhere else? How many of you hear things? You don't hear things? You don't hear things? Wait a minute, I'm in the wrong group. How many of you hear spirits? How many of you hear guides? Oh, everybody. No. Oh, sorry. I said for the new people, the information I'm going to give them. Okay, so now, thank you for the translation. Okay. Yeah, we need a translation. Okay, how many of you see things? that is not physical, not three-dimensional, like she energy, she spirits, she trees, she auras of trees, she angels, she's sitting. And how many of you see that? How many of you have seen ghosts? How many of you have seen funny faces that you don't recognize? Yeah. Oh, all right. How many of you see scary faces that you don't recognize? Strange faces. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna ask, how many of you see spirits of something? Hey, look at everybody. Everybody, leave your hand up. Whoever sees that, look, they're all doing this. You see that? So we are welcome to the team. Welcome. You guys are all joining us. Thank you so much. And they get to experience this very young. I wish somebody told me when I was 12 years old. And you got this aunt here who's a pro at that. So get to talk to her, okay?
Still fresh in the soul.
It is. It is. I mean, so is there anything that you see that was not understood or scary?
Yeah,
Okay. Do you would like to share today?
yeah, I have experienced
Scary and what people?
people, and I haven't seen them.
The feet people?
Yeah, people haven't seen them before, and those kind of.
Uh-huh. And describe what you see.
I like white and people.
Older and white, and they walk around you or behind the trees. Where did you see them?
Took the door.
And around the doors in your house.
Yeah.
Okay, so your house have lots of spirits in the house. Beautiful. And what do you do with them? You tell them to go away. Is it working now?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. You know, he had a session with me and we talked about that a little bit, yes? And it gives you, instead of just getting scared with them, you can do something with them now, right? Congratulations, you're learning. Yay! He did it in one session, by the way. That's amazing. You know?
It's good for you. My wife, there's one that comes in our house. She don't see it. I think sometimes she might see an outline, but it messes with her. It touches her head. Sometimes when I'm not in bed, she'll roll over, and she says she hit her head with whatever that is that's there.
Mm-hmm.
I said, just tell her to go away. I don't want to interact with it. And it's going to be staying there.
Yeah. I guess William's gonna have to do something about it. Mhm. And what was your experience?
I was younger, I had just like lost the people at night, and we were watching like video.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to bed and then I looked at the back. So I was like, walking back, I saw like an angel
Uh-huh.
with this white baby dress.
Oh, wow.
And she was like glowing.
Uh-huh.
She didn't have wings,
Uh-huh.
but it felt like she was there forever.
Uh-huh.
In reality, like she was there for like a split second, but I played it back in my head and she was like,
But you could see it in your head still. Sounds like it, yes?
yeah,
Yeah, and it just for a short while, but then it shows up, yes?
she smiled.
Yeah. Oh, that is beautiful. Have you ever seen that again since?
I don't know, but I always look down at her. She's like there.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. And are you guys able to hear me still?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, so just want to make sure the sound is still on. So buzz me if the sound is gone.
Alex, I
Okay,
would
so-
just say, I can hear you, but I can't hear anybody else talking.
I was just gonna repeat that. She says that she saw an angel when she went to the bathroom one night and come back on the hallway. She saw a beautiful angel glowing in front of her, and she feels so, and it looks so beautiful. Yes, you know, and it doesn't have a wing, but it's a lady that looks beautiful like an angel, and she still can see it, even though it's a short time, but she could see it in her head. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. How many of you had seen things like that? Elizabeth and this, and yes.
I had the grieving process when my angel like was with me 20 or 30 years went away,
Okay, and you had a grieving process because you went away?
She went away because she was born.
Oh.
And,
And so why is it a grieving? It's not a celebration. It's not a
because,
celebration.
well, I celebrate the person being here, but the spirit that I knew, yeah, was with me always
Uh-huh.
for so long, and then it's like a void. Wow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This is we mourn somebody's death. It's kind of the same thing. It's just a transition.
It is a transition, yes.
Yeah.
And so we talk about the soul transiting, the soul coming to earth when they are in an earth body, like your body. Before that, it can appear to people. And then they come into the body, so now they are doing their life journey. So they're not going to be a part of people. But the others, there are some who can actually still be appearing to other people. That's a little bit different. But their role now is coming to earth to live a life. And
that spirit got us together.
There you go. Well, I guess in order for her to come, she has to find you guys together, right? So that's a little bit about the soul journey. Okay, that's really cool. And so when the soul comes in, we go into a life, we live a life, and then we go, yes? And then when we go, they can now appear to people again, is it not? Like you were saying, after we leave, they can show up in other people's. So can I come to your house and see you? When I go, can I come to your house and see you? Yeah? I won't make it scary though. I won't make it like glow or funky eyes, anything. I wouldn't do that. I'll put on a head like that and you remember me. How about that? So the question lies in this. Really interesting in the sense that he says that the spirit is gone. Can we request for another guide to show up? Right. So what is a guide? If one goes, what can we ask for, in other words?
New one?
A new one? What kind of a new one? I know, buddy. Yep.
Could be a higher level energy side.
A higher level.
Something to help with what you're dealing with at the time.
Something to help you with dealing with. How about for you guys that's new, you could ask something to help you see things, do things, or learn things. You get that? And then when you finish with that guide can transit to the next session and you can ask for another guide. How many guides have you had, Elizabeth?
Oh boy, probably, I don't know, what do you think, a dozen?
Oh, they keep changing every time you upgrade, is it not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Who else is here? Where is this? How many guides have you had, Susan? Thank you.
I stopped counting at 15, but they're still hanging around.
Yeah, so people will have different guides. I just want to give you all tips that you can ask for guides here. Okay. And so instead of not having it, I can have God, because I grew up seeing St. Francis of Assisi and things like that. And then I asked for different guides, my Chinese guide comes to me, and then Buddha comes to me. So different guides can come to you guys. How cool is that? Yeah. Okay. Do you all have any questions first before I go on? I wonder how I can do this. Way is allowed.
Alex?
Yes.
Alex,
Yes, Brian.
it's Brian, not the dog.
Yes, thank you.
You started turning towards the dog. I sense presence around me, and sometimes, certainly in the middle of the night, I'm hearing things going on in the room. But I don't always see spirit, but sometimes I do. Is this something that's of their control, or something that I'm not? Why?
Okay. Good question. Some people can hear things, some people can see things. Yes. Yeah. So that usually happens is because of the human frequency available to them. It's not to the spirit. The spirit's frequency is there. Okay, I've had different people, like 5 people standing in a room. One can hear, one can see, one can hear and see, and one don't see nothing. And one can feel something. Okay, why is that? The same spirit, one spirit, yes? So it's not the spirit, it's the human that is open to the frequency that you can see. You know, because there are certain places that has lots of spirits. Lots, especially places where there's a war that happens, there's a lot of death, okay, a sudden death.
Walmart too. Just saying.
Yeah, Susan experienced Walmart. Larry, is there anything to do with-
But Alex?
Yes.
I know, right?
Yes.
But, sometimes I do see spirit. I mean, there'll be times I see one, just floating down the hallway and disappears, and so I kind of go back and forth. So
Okay, so
is it my,
that is another good question. Okay, so certain spirits have different glowing, like she sees a glowing spirits, and certain spirits have very different frequency.
yes.
Not every spirit, not every ghost is the same frequency, and there are certain ghosts I can see clearly. Certain ghosts is harder for me to see, and yes. So what it is depending on their energy vibration, the ghost or the guide's energy vibration. The more evolved the energy vibration of that spirit, the stronger they are. Okay, so when the younger soul spirit that shows up that just died recently, their energy is harder to see because their vibration is more like very angry, very frustrated or disappointed. And they're younger, they're more mental in that process, they're scarier. So their frequency is harder to see. Okay, whereas an older soul that passed away, they know how to generate the energy to help you see.
Does it take a real effort on their part to be able to exude that energy frequency to be seen?
Yes, it does require the spirit's energy. Like if I would have want to show up to Elizabeth when I passed away, okay, and I want to make sure I will take my time to find the frequency that I can get to see, to get her to see her, for her to see me. So there, depending on the evolution of the spirit will actually take the time to do it. If somebody who passed away and you love that person and you have that person so close to each other, that person will find a way to connect with you. If the conversation is a sudden death and there's no time to say anything, they want to say something to you, the spirit will take the time to find a way to connect with that loved person. And they might even use somebody else who can see them to help them to get the message across.
The movie Ghost really.
Oh, I love
displays
that movie, Ghost. Exactly. So I want to bring in some people who have had this experience and to share with that. Is that okay with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Melanie, I'm going to call on you today. Thank you for being a part of it. Melanie have had the ability to be able to hear spirits that passed away or people that passed away, and she's listened to them and heard them. So could you share some stories of what you hear or what they're trying to tell you to the people that they know? Could you share with that, please?
Sure. When I first started listening to some of the departed souls that had come through, they were ones that, they were people or souls that I had never personally met, but they wanted information passed along, or they were asking for information. So there was one guy who got shot in a club in Detroit in the 80s, and he was asking me who did it. I couldn't really help him. I wasn't quite sure who did that. And there was, one woman just saying she was worried about her husband because she had passed away, but her husband was still there, and she could just tell he was having a tough time with the grieving process. And she told this whole beautiful story about how when they got married, she had gotten sick right afterwards and how well he took care of her. And that one made me cry a little bit. Even I don't know either one of them, but it was like, the way she told her own story was really beautiful.
Thank you. I was gonna ask you to tell them that story. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was one of her exercises to listen to somebody who was just passed, and she was able to tune into that. Even though she doesn't know these people, they wanted to tell a story, and she wanted that. There's another one about a short story shade. Do you remember that?
About
That
what?
has something in the story. There's another spirit that was trying
in
to
the
tell.
chest. Yes.
Yeah.
So there was one, and I believe it was a mother speaking with her son. I can't remember the relationship, but the spirit that was coming through was like, this her son keeps looking for things that he wants to like remember her by, and she had some really important things that she knew she wanted him to find and see, and she just kept saying to me over and over, it's like, it's in the chest. He walks by it like 5 times a day. Tell him it's in the chest. And she was like, it'll help him so much, and yeah, it was just very sweet.
Yeah. So I'm glad you guys are here very young. So can you see how even people die, they can still talk to us? Yes. So your uncle that your grand uncle, your grand uncle that just passed away, yes. And so guess what? If you all want to call him to come, you might do it at the come on in. You might want to do it at the beach house instead of in your house, okay? Instead of in your house. So Elizabeth can help you with that.
Yeah, he's already come.
Okay, he's already come. So you guys are calling. So you guys are gonna go. All of you guys are gonna help each other see. Is that okay?
Yeah.
See how fun it can be instead of scary. Yes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be scary. It really is. I just want you guys to hear this because the kids are here today. It's so nice. How old are you guys? So people can hear you guys.
I'm 10.
Okay, one is 10,
14.
and she's 14. She's the model.
Oh.
Yeah, so 10 and 14. So I want you here. We can talk to the kids this way. And so that way it's not scary for them to be able to see spirits and ghosts. Yes. And it's like a natural thing. Actually, it is a natural thing. We just don't talk about it. Yes.
I feel almost like a magnetic.
Thank you for really bringing this presence. Magnetic presence. She's feeling there's a magnetic energy that's pulling her at the age of 14. How cool is that? Being able to talk that way, yes? So what are you all feeling in this room today? What else? Maureen, oh! Okay. What vibrational energy are you all feeling in this room? Susan, up there?
What video?
Open energy.
Open energy, and anybody else feeling anything? Peaceful energy.
It's very connected. It's like I keep seeing all the energy, little fibrous energy lines kind of connecting, sort of just energizing in a quiet way, but in a love vibration.
Love vibration. So share with me what you are feeling. How cool is that? It is, isn't it? Yeah. See, spirits are connecting all of you guys. She's explaining it so well. Isn't it so beautiful? Huh? It is now and then gathering circle. Yes. Yeah. So spirits are actually going to slowly keep rising this temperature of this room and this energy of this room. So you guys, they're just gently giving you guys some of this, and she's already picking it up. So you want to be able, if you see something, you want to be able to talk to her.
Acting with Charlie.
Okay. What's that? You know, and if you don't understand something, talk to her as well. Is that okay with you guys? Pretty cool, yes?
Yeah.
See, you thought this was just imaginary, yes? But guess what? I do that every day. I feel things every day. I work with so many people. I see spirits. I feel their energy. I feel their depression. I feel their anger, frustration. And when I take it away, throw it away, and it's like, ah, like the Ghostbusters, you know? So like, ah, yeah, you got bad energy. That's right. I should create one for them. Yeah, a receptacle. So anyway, yeah, they're doing really well. I'm so glad that you guys are sharing this. And so, you know, when you guys go to the beach house, share with your other cousins as well. Is that okay? Yeah, and share with them what they got, what you learned. So actually, what you see here, all these people over here, all these people here can move energy. They all can move energy. They've already learned some of these things. So you get a good start. You have to start way earlier than them. So you can gotta be better than them. Okay. So moving energy for younger people is really cool. The reason why I say all of this is because the younger generations right now are going to see more and more funky stuff, more and more funny stuff and bigger stuff. A lot of things are changing. So I'm going to share with you all a story here, inspired by John. Okay, but I created a different twisted story. Okay, it's a story by three friends. They were sitting on the beach after high school, and they were saying, boy, this is so fun. We graduated from high school. Wow, what are we gonna do? They all sit on the beach, looking, is like, ah. And so the three friends is Peter, Paul, and John. So they asked Peter, Peter, what are you gonna do? He says, I love farming, and I'm gonna find a farm, and I'm gonna grow weed, and I'm gonna build a beautiful house. I'm gonna get cows. I'm gonna get wonderful chickens and stuff like that. I just want to have fun, and I want to have a family, and just love my hands in the ground, you know, and that makes me happy. All right. And then they asked Peter, and then so Peter asked Paul, what are you gonna do? Paul said, I think I'm gonna accept the scholarship from UCLA and go play football. But he's a running back. Go play football, and then I'm gonna become a lawyer. Okay. All right, he says, sounds good. And Peter, Paul, and then John, they're all like, what are you going to do, John? John said, I don't know. I just want to find the meaning of life. I want to explore the spiritual meaning of life. So where are you going to go? I think I'm just going to go to Europe first, and I'm just going to start from Europe. I don't know where, but I'm just going to start. All right, then. All three of them decided, why not we can come back here 20 years from now and see what happens, and we'll share the story. Right on the beach, 20 years. So off they went. So Peter found a land, bought some land, built beautiful wheat and cows, everything, and he expanded 200 acres of land, and he built a big house. He had a wife, he had 3 kids, and a pillar of community, just having so much fun and loving his life every day, laughing and happy with his family. Okay. And then Paul, he went to play college football. And he loved football so much, there's so much team community supporting, and he was supporting his community, is doing his thing and playing football and doing it so well. And after he finished football, he went pro, but he didn't like it. So he finished his lawyer's degree, and he was a lawyer for 3 years, and he still didn't like it. So he decided to say, you know what, I need to do something more meaningful for myself. He decided to open a gym where it's about mind, body, and spirit. And he did it so well that the people in Hollywood love him so much. He was like so successful. And so he had a family and kids and this community with mind, body, and spirit just all working out and having so much fun. And in come, who's left? Thank you. So he says, well, I'm on a spiritual journey, right? So he went to Europe, Italy, your country. Okay. He started out with Italy, went to Rome, said the center of Catholic. So he went to the cathedral and talked to the bishops, talked to the priest. What is the meaning of life? And the priest says, you know, we have to sacrifice, we have to suffer so we can go to heaven. And so he prayed, he says, wow, that sounds hard. And so he says, suffering. Oh, I can suffer. All right. And so he kept praying, and then and he was like looking at all the different churches and talking to different priests, and every single one he talked to, he said, you got to suffer, you got to pray, you got to sacrifice this life, you know, for the heaven. And he asked, where is heaven? God said, they all said, somewhere up there. Where is God? He's everywhere. But what does he look like? Well, they couldn't explain to him. So he kept looking. So I need to go meet God. I need to find God. I need to find heaven, right? So I know where to go. So he keeps studying, and as he's traveling in Rome, he got pickpocketed. Everything he has is gone. He has no money left. But the good thing is they left him his passport. But he has no money. So guess what he has to do? So he decided to go pray, right? He go to one of the big cathedral, he sit down and pray, God, show me a sign, tell me what to do. You know, if you're there, show me what to do. And he heard a voice. You got to go to Turkey. Turkey? How am I going to get there? You'll find a way. What am I supposed to do? He said, just go to Turkey and we'll tell you that. So he's like, oh boy, he had no money. And so one priest just took him in for a little bit and teach him more about the Catholic system and more about prayer, more about things. And he said, this didn't quite hit his spot. Didn't quite hit him. So he continued to pray. And so he says, he's going to go to Turkey. So he don't know how, but he kept asking. And somebody says, hey, we happen to be driving up to Turkey. Do you want to jump for a ride? These like hippie guys, they were smoking and having fun. They were just traveling to Europe. So he said, well, I'll join you guys. Not a problem. I'll just jump in. You know, I jump in the van and in they go and off he went. You know, he see them, they're having so much fun, but he doesn't feel like he wants to do it. So he's like, no, I don't feel like, but I'll join you. So he went all the way, driving all the way up to the border of Turkey. And so he went over there, and then he sat on the river and he started meditating. And he says, what am I supposed to do here? He said, now you got to go to India. And at that time, Turkey was very scary. There was a lot of fighting. There was like, ooh. But some way, somehow, Spirit guided him to India. But all this time he had no money. So the only way he can get food is beg. So he went to India and started looking for the meaning. And the Spirit kept telling him, and he sat by the river Ganges and he started meditating. He could hear, he started being quiet because he has no money, nothing. He just sit on the river, right? He started talking and he started hearing spirits talking to him. And so he started doing all of that and going And he started to meet really powerful gurus. But in the meantime, he still had no money. So his hair is growing long and he's suffering and he's a lot. So he's discovered a lot of suffering, by the way. He started with suffering and he's discovered a lot of suffering. And then he tried to look for a principle that matches him. It doesn't quite, until finally one day, like many, many years over India, he found a teaching that resonates with him. And so when he found it, he decided to adopt and decided to be that principle. And when he adapted that, he finally came back to America. And when he came back to America, he started his practice. And then he decided to go back to India because he feel like he's related to India. He started building a whole community of ashrams to help the homeless in the school. And 20 years later, they came back to the beach, through and through. So they asked, Peter, how's your farming business? He says, oh, I love it. Every day is so fun. My kids are so big. They are so helpful. We have so many cows. We have so many wheat. And every Thanksgiving, we have a bounty full of food. I'm so blessed. And we have big feasts for the community and the church and friends. And I feel like I'm so blessed. Okay. Paul and John, what did you do? Well, since I started the gym, it was just amazing. It's like my body just wakes up and everything feels so good. Everything feels so spiritual and connected and so healthy and so powerful and so loving. And the community spreads the word to help a lot of community events. And I love my kids. I love my family. And I'm really having so much fun. And so we asked, well, they all asked, what did you do? Well, right now, I finally found peace with my journey. And now I'm helping community schools in India, providing lunches for kids in schools and homeless training for people. Wow, you all sound so good. And I was spending so many years looking for God and heaven. And so Peter asked, did you find God? Well, after 20 years, well, God is everywhere. He started with that conversation, didn't he? He's like, did you see God? Well, in my mind, I did, but I didn't actually see God. So after 20 years, it's not there. Well, it's everywhere. I'm kind of confused, they all said. And so where is heaven then? Well, it's up there somewhere. And Peter says, you know, you spent a long time looking for that and doing things to get there. Why? Well, he says, this is what we spiritual people believe. And Peter says, you know, I love my farm. I love my family. I think I'm in heaven already. I think God is working through me already. And Paul says, I feel the same way. I wake up, I go surfing. It's so nice. I meet so many famous people. And it's like God is working through me. And I'm talking to the people just light up in the gym and having so much fun. I feel like I'm blessed. I'm really blessed. I don't have to go anywhere. And Paul says, I'm blessed too. I feel I'm blessed too. I do what I love. And I'm glad all of you do what you love. So which one is the right path?
They all are.
Everyone.
Huh?
Everybody's
that?
path is the right path. Everybody's path is the right path, just for themselves.
So what story triggers your mind when I say all this?
They're living their highest, best lives.
Mm-hmm.
They set out to do,
Mm-hmm.
fulfilling their dreams.
I mean, two of them didn't even go to church.
Everyone's journey is unique to them.
Is it okay? Can they go to heaven? Do they need to go to heaven? They feel like they're already in heaven. Right. Yes.
Sounds like John learned about true heaven from his friends' paths and their experiences.
Mm-hmm.
And they learned about heaven through his experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody's experiences had to exist the way that they did for them all to realize their heaven.
You said something very powerful. Everybody's existence had to exist for everybody else to experience it, yes? Say that again, please, Zach.
All of their individual paths
Mm-hmm.
had to happen that way for them to each realize what heaven meant, or for them to realize their heaven.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, what Zach said is very poignant for your life. Each and every one of you exists for a reason. Each and every one of you have your own unique path for a reason. If you're sitting next to the person and look at that person, your life exists for the next person, for the person next to you, to learn from you, and you learn from them. Every life is very, very important and very, very special. There's no two alike. No matter how you try to make it identical for everybody. And everyone will learn something from each other in this journey called life. It is actually designed for you all to learn in this life here on earth, not in heaven, not up in the sky. It is designed for you to learn right here on earth, to experience life to its fullest. It is designed for you guys to experience the varied emotion, the varied experience, the varied lessons of the quality of life that you all choose to experience and your soul choose to experience. It is in each of us that this lesson will explode. If you allow the lesson to grow in you, you will actually see the layers of lesson that you will learn in any one incident. You will actually see the layers of emotion, mental understanding, mental anger, mental frustration, human behavior, and the human body's reaction of all the chemicals that fire in any of these things, and the mental processes that it goes through in any one incident. There's so many layers, and there's so many spiritual and mental understanding of each things for you all to learn. And any incident, one earthquake, could trigger a whole community to learn. It is for you to explore life the way you are designed to explore each life uniquely. You are a unique being. You might all wear the same clothes, go to the same school, use the same uniform, stay in the same ashram, but yet each experience will be unique and you will learn differently. 2 monks will learn differently. 2 lawyers will learn differently. 2 football players will learn differently. So it is up to you to explore the heaven within each of you, right here, right now. There is no need to wait for later. Thank you for listening. Okay, I'm back. Let me get focused to see where you guys are. Linda, Karen, Nancy. So what did you all feel? Did you feel the difference in the energy when somebody was talking? It does feel different.
Yeah.
That 14-year-old is experiencing it. Can you see that? And this is the first time you've seen this thing happen to you? Uh-huh. Cool, huh? Welcome. Okay. I would like to hear what you all hear from the story and the message. I wasn't expecting the message to come, but it came. That was a good message, though. I'm glad I recorded it. I actually want to clip it out and do that.
I would like to ask a question.
Yeah.
So how each person will unfold their lesson of why the pandemic, what to do, and it's current thing.
Okay, pandemic. Let's talk about the pandemic. A lot of people have conversations about pandemic. Do you all want to hear the tag that I've been getting about the pandemic?
Sure.
Yeah, a pandemic that is happening internationally is for very, very powerful purpose. Because just like when a volcano happened in a city, it destroyed the whole city, is it not? It changes the whole landscape or something like that. Like what's the name? Pompeii, yeah, like Pompeii, yes. That means that culture, that time, usually when something that mass happen, like a pandemic, that means the whole culture is like tilted off into a tangent that is not supposed to go. Okay, they're doing things they're not supposed to do too much. So actually that is to slow them down to get them back on path, on their own spiritual path. So the pandemic happens. So it happens for a lot of people, and it's still coming back. It's because they still haven't learned that lesson. Okay, and so the ones that are stubborn with that didn't want to learn it, they usually are the ones that get it, and they will come back and learn it again. Okay, so the pandemic has to happen for not just a culture, but internationally, globally. It's a global shift. You talk about global planet. I told you global planet shift, global. This pandemic is actually to assist the global shift. Okay, in many layers, not just spiritual, not just physical, not just mental, in health, in all culture, in the cultural system, the working environment and everything. Like he's changed his working environment completely. How many of you have changed your working environment? Yeah, so a lot of things have changed. How people think in New York used to be the more expensive, the bigger the office, the better your company is, yes? And now it's like the big companies are sending everybody home to go to work. And they have this company that's just sitting there, $60,000 a month, nobody in there. They're actually changing it. So a lot it's not just in New York, it's every city, is everywhere, especially Italy. Italy is so devastated by a lot of things. And Malaysia's changed so much also. So internationally, when a pandemic happens, yes, that will happen. It's for a global shift.
And it's tied in directly with all the disruptive technology.
Yes.
From Elon and the genomics and all these other things so rapidly.
It is. The world is changing via technology, via innovation. You know, I mean, like I said, the spiritual conversation is changing. The educational conversation is changing. The value of life has changed so much. Yeah, the value of life that people have has changed so much. And if the people who cannot adjust to the new environment usually are time to go. So there's a lot of change. And so death is a part of change, is it not? And birth is also a part of change. How many new babies are coming?
Oh, my God. Tons of fun. Everybody take home.
Yeah.
It's the new baby boom. Well, that's why a lot of them had to leave, to let the new ones come in.
Yeah, so there is a flow, ebb and flow. You see that? There's an ebb and flow. Okay, so yeah, so people say, oh, so many dying. I says, correct. How many is born?
But the actual numbers aren't really any different. It's just who died from what.
Right.
Versus, you know.
And that's
instead of
not
less
talked
car
about.
accidents and less pollution deaths, and more other things.
Right. And so, yes, just like Pompeii, the whole culture have died, just like the Aztecs, just like the Mayans, yes? At that time, nobody have internet, so nobody know what happened to that people. Now, if somebody drop a bomb somewhere, everybody in the world know. Yeah, especially as an atomic bomb. Oh, the whole world will know and say how bad it is, yes? Yeah. Even if just one person died, by the way. The whole atomic bomb is like, could you believe it? And there's more people die on the road. But we don't talk about it. And there's a lot of people die in malpractices. But we don't talk about it. Literally every day, there's so many of those people dying. Okay, so and there's a lot of people dying from drinking, a lot of other things. But we talk about only pandemic. Why? Well, that's because it's the cultural conversation and the cultural shift. Yes? Yeah, it is. Okay, so it's not bad. It's just what is for the system.
It's real.
Everything is real.
Yeah.
And everything is not real.
Everything is, if I die, is that an illusion?
Everything is real in this society. So here, I'm going to bring this conversation back for her because it's a tough conversation here for some people here. Everything is real. And everything is not real.
It's a game, you get to play it over again.
So this is a deeper conversation. Are you guys kind of gonna listen for this thing here? So everything is real, meaning what? Meaning you see it, you feel it, you think it, yes? And it happens in your life, yes? How many things that are happening around you that you don't see it, you don't think it, you don't feel it? I mean, how many things? Do you know what's happening on the moon right now? I love her answer. Thank you so much for coming and making this circle so interesting.
Can you say that one more time?
She
So I
says,
can hear it.
say it louder for everybody here.
An infinite amount of things are happening that we don't know about.
An infinite amount of things are happening right now that we don't even know about. Is that real? But you don't see it. How could it be real? You don't think about it. How could it be real? So pay attention to how I translate this, okay?
But once upon a time, the atomic bomb couldn't have existed because atoms didn't exist.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Hiroshima got blown up.
Yeah. You know, the dream to go to the space, Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have made it possible. If you have 20 million, but
If you have millions of dollars, just throwing you off and go to space.
that's right. So why I'm saying that is this: what's real in your world is because you can see it, but before you could see it, you actually think about it. And when you think about it, it becomes real in your world. And she says it becomes a manifestation of your life.
Limited only by your imagination.
Limited by only your imagination. How many of you have heard that statement?
In first principle. It's physics.
So you guys start young. He's kind of old now, you know. So his imagination is not as powerful as yours. You get that? But he has to work at his imagination because it's harder because he's got a lot of monkey mind in his head. All adults do, not him only. But all adults have, we say, we make an imagination and we say, well, you can't have this, you can't have it because. You get that? So you guys don't have the because. So you can start to imagine. So imagine what you could imagine for yourself in your life. What would you like to imagine if you can do it? What would you like to imagine for your life?
At least 5 impossible things before breakfast.
What?
At least 5 impossible things before breakfast.
So I'm gonna play a game with you. Is that okay with you? Okay, every day, he was just giving me, I'm gonna give you a clue. Every day, just write 5 things that you want to imagine you could do. Just for the holiday, just the summer. So you can tell us and Elizabeth to help you. 5 things. Every morning, you all sit on the beach, write 5 things you all could do. You can imagine. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, it's something he wants to share right now.
Okay, go ahead.
Fly.
Fly, as in like airplane, or fly skydiving?
Like skydiving.
Skydiving, okay, fly.
Then go to keep us up.
Okay.
And then
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, 1 or 2 is fine right now.
and that's it.
Okay, it's okay. 1 or 2 right now is fine. But you're gonna start practicing, like just for the holidays, just like practicing. So it's a good morning practice, and she can use the practice too. She loves practices like that, so she can help you guys. And what about you? What, if anything, you can do? Not just flying, not just carousel that he was saying, but what could you imagine for yourself for your life?
I want to make it bigger than I already have on YouTube.
Bigger on YouTube. I love. You have a YouTube channel already.
Yeah.
Did you take the pictures in the beach with your sunglasses?
No.
How could you not do that? You should be putting it on the internet. So all you're gonna have to talk to her, okay? And the head that you're gonna take a picture today and put it on the internet. She says, "I'm an angel." Okay. Believe me, you're gonna just boom. Okay. You see, the ideas are coming already. What else?
I want to get better at singing.
Oh, beautiful, better at singing. What else? Woo! I love it. Very good imagination. So the only thing that makes it real now after imagination is what? The only believing it. The only thing that makes it real after imagination is what? Because otherwise it's just an imagination still, is it not?
Doing it, taking action.
Taking action,
Acting as it is.
Believing.
acting as it is,
Finding a way to do it.
finding a way to do it. All these are beautiful ideas. All getting it.
Believing.
The most powerful thing you could do is, all of this is true, but the most powerful thing is energize it really, really strong. Believe it really, really hard. Like, did you all hear what she wanted on YouTube? One of the things she wanted is to have a channel on YouTube explored, right? Okay, so let me show you one example of that, how to use it, and everybody can see that. See, you're helping them, by the way. How cool is that? Okay, so how do you had an imagination? It's not real before. We're gonna make it real now. How is that? Is that cool with you? Okay, good. So let's play a game here, okay? So I want you to close your eyes. Okay. I want you to look at YouTube channel. And what is the number that you see a subscriber on your channel right now? 196. Okay. How many views on your last video? Okay, perfect. So I want you to put your hand on a little dial that you can actually push it up to increase the number and pull it down to decrease the number. Can you see that? In your head, you just see a little dial. Okay, if you push that dial up, the subscriber will go up and the viewership will go up. Is that cool? Okay, you got it? Like a big dial. Don't make it small. With a big dial, hold on a big handle. Okay, are you ready? And put a new video in there in your head. Ready? Upload it. Tick, upload it and hold a handle to the dial. And I want you to start pushing it up and see the number starts flying. The viewership starts going. How high do you want to go? Holy cow, she's going so high. So she's pushing it up. She's pushing it up. And what is the number you see, the viewership?
Both are over 1,000.
Perfect. And the subscription?
Wow.
Well over 1,000. Hold on now. Really see. And I want you to see. And I want you to say, yes, I did it.
Finally made it.
Yes. And then I want you to jump on the floor and I want you to dance. Do the dancing that I did it. Come on, do the dance. You can open your eyes. Yes. And tell everybody, say, I did it. Come on, energize it. Come on. Hey! Did you all feel it? The people around, did you all feel it on the internet even? Yeah.
Yes.
You just energize it. You see that? And you increase that. Is that cool? So you can do that with anything, by the way. For salespeople, they could. I have done this with many clients. They look at their sales number. They just their sales number. The people that their clients base, they put up the clients come up. Okay, I have different ways, but I give you a special dial there. So every time you do something, you got your little dial. Yeah! So you tell say, Anne Elizabeth, I just dial up my numbers. Okay, is that cool? So that's how you can energize it. And then the human mind will catch up with the energy that you created. Then you learn, you find all the things, you find all the videos. You're actually going to look for the video. The next video you're going to put is just going to be like cooler and cooler and cooler. Is that all right?
Editing.
Huh?
Better at editing.
Correct. You learn editing and everything.
You know, as far as learning so far, editing.
Yeah, just in editing alone, right? And by the way, you look at these people over here. Feel what you can feel. You can say, I'm ready to bring who here can help me. Just look who here can help me get that numbers. Now, can I play one more with you? One more thing with you? Okay. In the past, you were shy. In the past, you were shy. So I'm already putting in the past tense. In the past, you were shy. Okay. Today, because you dial up numbers, I want you to just play with me. Just like, ask yourself, who can help me? Just play with me. And just walk in the room and ask who knows how to edit, who's been on YouTube, what do they do? Just ask them, what do they do to make it good? Like learn. Is that okay with you? Nothing, you don't have to get anything, you just go learn. Is that okay? Like, hey, do you have a YouTube channel? How do you do it? Do you have it? How do you edit it? Just go ask people. Is that okay with you? No shy. This is all family. So no need to be shy. Can you play with that? Okay. So there's somebody in here that can help you. And if not, there's nobody in here, I got a honey that can help you. So is that okay with you? So afterwards this evening. So what did I just do with her? Completely met what was imaginary possible, is it not? And it now sounds so real to her. You hear that? Thank you. So that's reality.
The vibration's already been escalated.
Yeah. So how does reality disappear? How does reality disappear? I said everything and nothing. So let's go the other way. How does reality disappear?
With doubt.
No, not with doubt. Doubt is slowing reality, but it didn't disappear reality. What I'm saying, how do you disappear reality? This is a conversation that not many people know how to make a different choice.
Or you no longer believe it. It's
You no
possible.
longer believe it. Thank you. So share with me one thing that you used to believe and no longer believe. Thank you for putting yourself on the spot.
Let's
Alex,
see.
I can say something.
1 second, Susan. Let her finish this, and I want to hear from you. Go ahead.
I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
All right. What are you thinking?
Okay.
One thing that you used to believe and no longer believe, and let Susan assist you.
Yes.
Okay, Susan, go ahead.
Used to believe I was broken, and now I don't believe that anymore. And I'm not broken. I'm perfect as I am.
Thank you. That's simple. You get that? Hers is one belief that she used to think she's broken, and now she's not. She's whole and powerful and complete. As a matter of fact, she's so whole, she's actually gone to the top of her position in her career. Am I correct?
Almost one more step, but I'm almost there.
No. You're as high as you could go with that. But one more step she could do. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. So she's not broken. She's actually very well, is it not? And very healthy. Okay, so one idea. Any more ideas? Okay.
Nothing
Yeah.
is obvious to me at the moment.
Okay, it's all right. It's okay.
I'll keep working.
Did you understand what I just said? How do you disappear reality? This is a very powerful segment. If you understand insight in the world of enlightenment and growth, you want to be able to know everything and nothing. And how do you create reality? How you disappear reality?
The shift in your belief would disappear reality.
Only if it's 100% true.
Not putting your energy into it anymore.
Not
Your
putting.
time and energy.
Thank you.
Focus.
Completely shift the energy focus. Yes.
I'm around my mom a lot these days, helping her with care. She's in a lot of pain,
Mhm.
something going on with her leg.
Mm-hmm.
Very long, slow healing wound, lots of pain, won't take her meds because she's afraid of any kind of symptom that might, or repercussions,
All right.
side effects. Hard to be in that. So old spaghetti used to feel hard. Now I just, I'm not sure exactly
So
what
what
I
is
do,
the
but
what
I
is the
read
question first?
well,
Disappearing reality.
I deny the stuck feeling of hers when I feel it. And I'm not sure the question I'm trying to form it.
So she's going through an
She's
experience.
going through something. And,
And
to be
are
able
you going
to-
through an experience?
Well, I'm going through an experience different than hers. In the past, the old spaghetti would have been getting involved and panicking that she needs help and I can't help her and I need to stay there to help her and I can't do anything. And so now I can talk with her just about things to do to shift her thinking.
Okay, pause for a second. Let me tune to what you're asking and what you're trying to reach at. So you are concerned about her experience. You're concerned about how she's going through it.
Yes,
And it's
because of the
affecting you.
type of wound that she has.
Right. But why are you concerned with her experience? Because she's your mother?
Because she's my mother and because I want to be there to help.
Yes.
And I'm no help if I take on freaking out because she's freaking out.
Okay, does she need your help?
She does.
Does she want your help?
Um, she thinks
She's
she
hesitating.
does.
She's hesitating. Did you see that? That's because she want your help.
She needs help. It doesn't have to be mine.
No, does she want your help? I didn't say she needs help. I already passed that question.
You know, I'm not sure.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
does she want you to feel her pain?
I think she does.
Why?
I'm not sure.
Do you want to feel her
No, I
pain?
do not want to feel her pain.
She shake her head very fast, but why is she feeling the pain? So your reality here is you make it real by experiencing her reality as it is. She doesn't want to change her reality. She's going through what she's going through. That's her reality. But you making her reality yours. Do you understand that? You're accepting her reality and trying to fix her reality. She didn't want to. She's already created her reality. She's going on her path.
Yeah.
But you make her reality yours. That's why you're feeling it.
And then because she's my mother.
That's one of the
can't
reasons
just
why she's
ditch
your mother.
her.
Right.
No, it's your learning process.
Yeah,
This
I
is
figured
all
there's
your
something
learning
in
process. Are you seeing what I'm saying here?
Yeah.
It's not the pain, it's your learning process of how to make your reality yours and hers hers.
Yes. Yes.
It's not
And
the pain, it's the experience. Remember, I said every single one of you is teaching each other. It makes sense now what they were talking. I was just listening, I was having fun with them. And so they were saying that whoever you are with is helping you learn something.
Yeah. Yeah, lots of good stuff coming from it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not the badness, it's not the pain. The pain is just part of her learning process, not yours. But your learning is which reality do you want to live by? Make sense? And you can turn it on and turn it off. Imagine that. So a lot of people don't see that. Okay, so I want
Her sharing made me think of mine.
Okay, good. She has disappeared something after all. All right, let's hear what she has disappeared. All right, tell me.
I used to believe that I was helping people, and when what I felt should be their response to that was not, then I used to feel that I had failed.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something I no longer believe.
Mm-hmm.
And that, first of all, people have to be, open and interested and willing to listen. But even before that, it's like, if I feel that I need to share something, I first look at, is that person receptive? Do they even want to hear it? Am I
Mm-hmm.
really guided to say something? If I am, then I say it, but I no longer get attached to what they do or don't do with it. And that used to be where my sticking point was. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, and the other part of it is that a lot of times, even though I believe that I have something that would be truly helpful to them, and I know that they are not receptive to that or not in that space, then it's okay for me to let go and
Mm-hmm.
find some other way to be of service.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. It changes your life. You get that?
Oh, yeah. It reduces your stress. It's why I'm quiet now. Relaxed and peaceful. Because I do my best to stay out of other people's dramas.
How many of you have changed your life? Thank you. You all have done that. It's not that you all haven't done that. You just didn't realize you disappeared it. I used to struggle and work really hard. I used to think that I have to work hours and hours to make a little money, and nobody even value my work. That's how I used to think that. And I worked so hard, 60, 70, 80 hours and getting back 40 hours. I used to stay in this place. Sometimes I stay overnight on the day, stay overnight at the office. And then when I woke up to that reality, I say it stinks. It's stinky spaghetti. I don't want that. And from that reality to working 3 days a week and being able to go to the beach and enjoy the beach with people every week is magical. It's like heaven on earth for me. You get that? Thank you. And I'm saying, you guys are making my heaven here. That's why I'm saying to you guys are making my heaven for you guys being a part of my journey. Thank you so much. This is heaven to me. You know, and I can make this heaven. I can create another heaven in another adventure, is it not? You guys can do the same thing, is it not? So why do we have to keep suffering? Suffering was your reality. I'm going to say that to you guys again. I hope you all listen to this. Suffering was your reality, yes? And it's optional. If you get one thing tonight, you can say, my new reality is.
So now you need a new button that says delete.
I like that.
You can always choose different.
Delete the stinky spaghetti. So I need a shredder, huh? Yeah. That's right. Next time, if I do anything live again, I'm going to put a shredder over here and you guys are going to write your reality and shred it. Thank you for that advice. Okay. So what did I just say? You used to what? Your old reality was okay, in your own mind. I want you to think of one thing that you want to put in the past. So take a moment. Like mine was suffering. Your old reality was in your head. Nobody needs to know. You're letting go. The suffering. Nobody gets me. Nobody understands me. Nobody cares about me. Nobody values me. Your old reality, I used to think that. In your head, just said it. I used to think that. So you put it in the past tense. And just pick one for now, and you can do the rest later. Just pick one for now. Say it in your full sentence. My old reality about that was. So my old reality was. And now put in your present realities. Think about your new reality, what you want. So if you throw that away, what is the new thing that you want to create? People love me, people like me, people enjoy playing with me, people appreciate me, people just like, oh my, reward me so much. People are so kind and loving to me. What is your new reality? People just love what I create and people just like likes my stuff. What is it? Your new reality. People just keep talking about me. People keep da, 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 da. Your new reality. Okay, in the whole complete sentence now, I want you to say, my old reality was, and now my new reality is. So say the whole thing to yourself in your mind. My old reality was, and my new reality is. So you're changing that energy from that old place to the new place. And have fun seeing it. And this time, we're going to now stay on that reality. And each of you hold your hand to your dial too, just like she did. Just hold on to your own dial. This is your own button. Hold your own. Yeah, see, we're helping them. I told you you're helping them. So now everybody hold your dial. See your new reality. And I want you to start push up the energy of that reality. Push it up. Like see it getting brighter, see it getting stronger, see it getting active, see the activities, see people dancing, see people are talking to you. It's like just see it up stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And that your whole body feels so alive with that new energy. And it flows through the roof. Oh, look, she's dancing. Woo! Okay. Scientists and philosophers and spiritualists have discovered this reality many million years ago. Many years ago. Many people have taught you, put the energy where you want, and your world will change. So you guys just did it today without thinking. You guys just did it without even studying it. Apply this to any area of your life. I literally mean any area of your life. You can disappear anything if you want it. And I'm going to say it again. You can disappear anything if you want it. And you can appear anything if you want it. So, in the deeper understanding of everything and nothing, is inside the quantum realm of reality. Quantum physics have already discovered that. The moment we put our thought into something in the quantum field, it becomes real. It didn't exist before. There was nothing. And you guys just practice doing it from an imagination that was not there. The numbers that you had was not there. Your energy, you just dial it up and you see it. And the only thing that will slow it from coming down here is your second guessing of it. You're not believing in it. You're doubting it. You're worrying about it. What is a worry energy?
Fear.
Fear. What is a doubt energy? You don't believe it, is it not? Your second guessing is doubting, is it not? So if you don't believe something, how can it be real? It's very simple. That's why people practice meditation, is to really see that thing. And what you all did was meditation in motion that I walked with you. You all were meditating, you all were seeing it, and I'm asking you to do it. You all were doing it in motion with me. How quickly was that? And most people in the past, they didn't have this technique, so they actually have to find it themselves. I've been in caves in many lifetimes, sitting there trying to see, finally seeing, finally making it real. It's a lot of old discoveries. That's why I say the growth of human being is so fast right now on internet. So many people know this power of manifestation. They're actually sharing with you guys a lot of these techniques. So you guys today are doing it, not just talking about it. That's the difference. Okay. Any questions about that? Did you see it? What is the number? What is the number on your channel? Your subscription? I love it. That's going to be so quick. So quick. Okay. Really, it's going to be so quick. You might even do it before you finish your vacation. Yes.
I made an observation. As soon as you did that with her,
Mhm.
the shyness, she automatically stood up like this in her chair.
Yeah.
Like her
Very good observation.
Like it was like, oof.
Correct.
As soon as you said it, I looked at her sitting there before, and she was just like this.
Yeah. Because she's got 1,000 subscribers. Like, woohoo! Yeah. Yeah, maybe we should record this and show your parents. It's like 1,000 subscribers. You woke up. But yes, Is this thing helpful for you guys today?
Yes. Yep.
Sure.
Yes, William.
Most powerful one for me that we did, you and I, was when I used to believe that I didn't fit in.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
I could walk into a room like this and just not know who or anybody I could talk to. You know, it was just like, I don't belong here. Why am I here? Whatever. And it's been like that forever. I could have been in school. I could have been at work, and I just felt like I didn't fit in. But then I realized, of course, I belong wherever I put myself. I can walk up to Elizabeth, anybody I wanted to, start in with a conversation.
Even on the bus.
On the bus, oh, big time. I kind of missed the bus. Moving the people's energies around. I kind of missed that. I could deal without it.
Even at the office, people are like respecting him in a whole different way.
It's just totally different. It's the most freeing thing I've ever felt in my life, and I'll never forget that.
Thank you.
It is.
See, that reality has changed. You see that? From not fitting in. Now I can't go, even he goes to his church, people are like, whoa. Yeah, but yeah.
Shirley will tell me, you know, because you talk to anybody, because we'll be in a store, talking to somebody behind me or wherever I am, you know, because he's the quiet one.
Yeah. Exactly. Your reality has changed so quick. So, I mean, I've had many people who have many different realities that have altered their life completely. Completely. I mean, her life is completely different, and Saul's life is completely different. She's so happy and so relaxed now. You see how even she's sitting over there so relaxed. So good. Thank you for sharing. Anybody else have anything, questions or anything that you want to share from today's conversation? Is it powerful for you guys? Did you all see something for yourself?
I love it. Love the diamond.
You love the dial, right? I actually have an image of a dial that I put in last time in one of my workshops. I say, turn on the dial. But you like the dial, huh? See? Thank you for helping them have a dial. So, from the story, the importance of life of the three friends. Our society says life is only valuable if you have a spiritual meaning to it. So my question to you is, what is spirituality? Everything is spiritual.
Well, is that even a valid premise? The question is important.
The question is important. So
is that even a valid?
Good. So explain when you say, is that a valid statement? I like the concept conversation. Huh?
Yeah. Is the question even valid? Because if you're asked the wrong question, you get the wrong answer.
Correct.
Well, premise might be.
So to Peter, he didn't even have a spiritual conversation. He just wanted to have a beautiful farm, a family house, and enjoyed farming, yes? But to him, that was an experience that he considered spiritual, but nobody's even talk about it. He didn't even use the word spirituality, correct? Whereas, you know, Peter, John went to play sports, didn't even talk about spirituality, but he did what he loves to do and what he loves to help people with, yes? And he enjoys doing that. And is that okay? How many people that you know have not gone to church are very successful in life? You know, some good farmers, they're farming, they don't even think about meditation or spirituality because they're just present to everything and they pray. Oh, she brings spider to her. Okay. Tell her it's climbing up to her. Yeah, tell her it's climbing up to her. She's already climbing up the chair, by the way. Okay, okay. While you guys are focusing on the spider, okay. Did you get it, William?
What he did was the farmer was that he was connecting to Mother Earth and you know the animals and you know just life itself and you know how he brought you know food to the homeless and I mean he was just engaged in life and in you know the bounty of life.
Correct.
The bounty of,
He sees bounties, he's just engaged, he's just focused on just enjoying it and growing biggest harvest and everything. Yes, he did not have negative conversation, he just wants to do it and he just loves it. Okay, so I want to say to you guys, all three journey is correct. There is no wrong journey in this conversation. All three journey is just as important. And I said to you already in the beginning, I said, the person that works, that cleans the garbage in our house, in our community, is just as important as the priest that is in the church. And it's just as important as the policeman and the lawyer and the doctors. It's just as important. And the homeless man on the corner. But it's for you to discover how important that is.
Because it helps society function the way we.
I love her thinking. You're going to be my next teacher, yeah?
it allows people to really share their abundance and you know be appreciative of others.
Thank you. So it's just as important. He said something very simple. If society says a spiritual life is very important, then you just use that definition. You get that? If you don't ask that question and you just live a life to the fullest without the word spirituality, just like some people in Tibet, they just farm and they just don't even talk about church. They don't even pray. They just do their thing. And they have family values. They live up in the mountains for hundreds of years. They didn't even use the word spirituality. But to them, they have their own method of singing, praying, they call it their own thing. Nothing like the Western. And yet, they live a full life. Even the word spirituality is a conversation in itself that's created by humans that makes this life important. So that's why I wanted that story, because anything can be important. So I want to part this evening with this. From 10 to 14 to all of you, I gave you the opportunity to see that anything can be a part of your life. Any imagination can be your reality. The most important part of all of that for tonight is choose what you love to do and do it to the fullest. Choose what you love to do and do it to the fullest. Choose that you get 1,000 subscribers and do it. That's it. Understand? And after you reach 1,000, what's the next number? Thank you. You get that? I want, instead of everybody laughing with her, I want everybody to say congratulations to her. Ready? Congratulations on 10. Okay? Because human being, if we laugh, it scares them. Automatic reaction. So we just change the automatic reaction to congratulating her. It feels, I can do it. I'm very critical in my listening, and I'm just parting with you guys. If you have a friend, if you have a little kids, if you're a cousin, if anybody laugh at them, please correct that right away for them, because it will change their life. Literally, I've seen that so many times. And so adamant with kids like that. When somebody laughs at them, when they say, "Oh, I want to make this," they're like, "Ha ha ha!" How do you feel if somebody laughs at you? Your imagination becomes busted.
Alex,
Yes.
you know, I'm 180 degrees in the opposite direction at all times, but my laughter is just joy. So anybody.
No, it is joy. But what I want you to know
that
is the child's interpretation of what we express. If we are conscious about that, we are master teacher.
Yeah, you can laugh in a positive way or a negative way.
You can, but but not everybody, especially a child who's self-conscious.
They don't get it.
They don't hear positive or negative. They hear a laughter.
If they know you, then they're going to know it's positive.
It could be, but I just want you to be conscientious of what you do and make sure it lands as a positive thing. That's why I just laugh with her, but laugh with her in a congratulatory way, like congratulating her to get 10,000 subscribers. It might sound such a big number, but in her reality, it's going to be a small number. No, in her reality, it's going to be a small number. Literally $10,000. I will see her having subscribers of over 236,000 numbers. 236,000 people. I already see it in my head.
Where is the magnitude?
I already see in my head that you have 236,000.
I saw millions too.
Okay, so that's up to you to get to that point. But 10,000, but first one is 1,000 is your goal. Okay, and then when you get there, crank it up to 10,000. Is that okay? Thank you for doing that. And thank you for helping me help them adults see how our actions can make reality or destroy reality.
And have fun getting all those new subscribers.
So you get, so here's a quick one. Send everybody your link. We can like it. So I'll ask Elizabeth to share. So I'll give it to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth can give it to me. I'll share it to everybody. How about that? Before you go, you're already gonna start. How about that? And so,
Alex recommended I start a YouTube channel and how to be energized, and I hit 1,000 subscribers yesterday.
yeah! So you see that? She just told you, ask me how. She just told you that, ask me how. She's sharing it with you. So talk to her, okay, after this. All right. Thank you for volunteering and helping her see. Yes. Now she knows. Beautiful. So do you all have any questions online or here?
What was, I know you said congratulate when you laugh or when you see that to correct people. Is there another way of doing it also?
Oh, yes.
Other than congratulating them, or like, do you have any other?
Yeah, because I pay attention to when I teach kids from, I have my own kids, and I see my own kids react when other people laugh. When they say, "Oh, I want to be a Olympic gymnast," and they were training for Olympic gymnast. But some of the families don't believe that's possible. Yes, family members, they was like, "Oh yeah, haha, that's not going to be possible." So they're saying, they just like, "Ha, oh, that's a dream." And I have to go straight to her and whisper to her. I said, "Hey guys, just hold on a moment. Is this a serious conversation? Is this something you really want?" I asked my daughter in front of them. "Do you really want it?" She said, "Oh yeah, I really want to be. Do you think you can do it?" "Yeah, I can do it." "All right, then I'm going to support you 100%. So they all see what I just did to them. I'm going to support you 100%. Can anybody else support her? It changed their tone.
Amen.
It changed their tone because literally she was laughed at.
She was good enough to.
Oh yeah, she actually was selected to go to Houston to train with the national team until her injury happens that she couldn't. Yeah. So she went they flew her down to the center twice to train, yeah, in Houston. So what I'm saying is, yes, many kids will be laughed at when they have crazy dreams. So you guys, if you all have crazy dreams, if somebody laugh at you, what are you going to tell them?
Stop. Don't laugh.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't stop you.
Yeah, well, think that they're not gonna laugh.
You can tell yourself, no, you.
Yeah,
Say-
will not, you can create a new reality.
I like it. Congratulations. Yeah. From now on, you say something, nobody's gonna laugh. Everybody's gonna support you. Yes.
Yes.
It's a new reality. So the other thing is, you know how sometimes people say, I want to answer a question that Brian had, if he's still around.
I'm
Maybe
still
he's
here.
asleep already. Oh yeah. You're a dog, so I thought you were asleep. So now you're still here. Okay.
So I've dozed
So-
off a couple times, but I'm here.
Okay, now he's still here. So I walk him up. So when people will always laugh at things, you know, because their imagination is not as big as some of the others, yes? And they don't think it's real, yes? They will always laugh because they are happy with their little world.
Yeah.
They are happy with their little world, and somebody say, oh, you go to the moon? Good luck. Fly into space. How many people laugh at Jeff Bezos? Good luck. But they did it, didn't they? How they did it is because they said, I'll show you. Some of these people say, I'll show you.
Jeff Bezos started out of a garage selling books.
Thank you.
He's
So
all the way to where he is now.
thank you. So you're going to shoot your subscribers all the way, okay? Okay, so that is important. And here's the thing I'm talking about. Bad stuff in this world, all crazy stuff in this world, do they have to exist? Why do you say no?
Because it absolutely won't.
Bad stuff in this world, war,
It's
craziness,
somebody's soul journey.
darkness,
Somebody's lesson
Yeah,
there.
do they have to exist?
Right now.
Your lessons. People go through your lessons.
No, do they have to exist?
No.
Right now, for some people,
But he didn't say
He-
now. He said.
No,
do they have to
I said, do they have to exist?
And
It
the
is
answer
happening
no.
right now. Why do you say no?
Why do I say it doesn't have to exist?
Correct.
Because we can choose. Right?
Well, you can choose something, but I said, does the darkness have to exist?
Oh, you can say darkness.
I said, bad stuff, darkness.
That's the,
Yeah.
no,
Does
I mean,
it have to exist?
not here, not on Earth.
Why not? Yes?
So not weird.
Not for me, not for on earth. How is it possible?
jump the timeline.
Sorry, we're still in this timeline.
Well, this is
Alex?
We're the ones that keep it going.
This isn't actually one time.
It doesn't matter which timeline it is. It's
Alex.
actually in any timeline.
There's
Yes,
there's positive
Kai.
and negative energy.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean it's bad. There's
I
nothing
understand.
bad.
I understand.
There's nothing bad about it.
Okay, there's a different conversation,
Yeah.
but I'm saying yes.
Well, you said bad.
Yes.
Kai,
Just
hold on, let
just
Kai
now
say
you
something.
asked the question. Just now you asked the question. All this craziness and is it bad? It has to happen. Okay, my feeling, my experience is that from all the learnings that I picked up and also from you, the coaching is that actually in truth there's no good or bad, right? It's just in
Correct.
earth, all these experience are like the collective consciousness and the soul contract that the event happens for a good reason. For
Mhm.
us, for me, I interpret it is for each and every one of us, myself, to evolve, to do what I'm supposed to be doing in this life. So there's no good or bad, war, because human mind will interpret it as bad or evil, or let's say pandemic is bad. But in
Mhm.
truth, there's no, you know, it is just necessary event that will have to happen to elevate, to make a human being wake up and also to do what they're supposed to do. Then there's that urgency when there's a crisis. If not,
Mhm.
we will go on the same old, right? But of course,
Mhm.
as collective consciousness, there are some souls that will still want to be in their little world and the old way. You know, it's just the way it is.
Mhm.
Life is the way it is, the way I see it now. Back to the pandemic as well, there are all these new normals that a lot of people do not desire. Some of the actions also I do not quite desire, like, you know, masking and a lot of things. So, but if I choose that I want to be happy and joyful in this time, I flow with it, with the action. And if I don't feel anything is right, I will raise my position to tell about my stance, you know. So this is my interpretation from what you asked.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. That is how a lot of things that you're sharing here. So I'm gonna interpret some of this thing here. So I said, does it have to exist? And she's right in the sense that she understood my teaching that says there is no good or bad, or it's only positive and negative. What's bad in our society is we consider war bad, we consider negative things bad. In our society, we label that as bad. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
But in the spiritual conversation, it's like two sides of a coin, a head and a tail. Yes? It's a positive and negative. How can one exist without the other?
Correct, but let's go back to.
Hold on, let me finish this thing. Hold on your thought, please. It's not possible, is it not?
Yeah.
This is reality, is it not? Every atom has a positive and negative, is it not? Every battery have a positive and negative. If you cut if you only want to keep the positive out of the battery and cut the negative out, what happens to the battery?
Doesn't work.
It does not work. So why do we call the negative bad? When
I'm not calling it that.
no, you don't. I'm just saying a society. Why does society call it bad? Yes, I understand you have that concept. Just let others catch the concept. If you cut that and call that bad, what do we have left? It actually cannot exist. It actually cannot exist. It actually disappears. So if you want to learn peace, what have to exist?
Non-peace.
No peace first.
Non-peace.
Yeah.
Non-peace. Otherwise, peace has no meaning
On the earth plane.
on any plane.
Peace, though, and when the world transitions to a more collaborative, cooperative environment, which it is.
Is it possible? In human being?
Absolutely. More cooperative and collaborative, yeah. But then
More, but I say, is it possible to be 100% collaborative?
well, no. You said, is it possible? There's a difference between 100%. But what appears to be positive and negative, some small little fluctuation is more noticeable when you don't have the big drama, the big waves. When things are overall more calm, then you notice the small.
That's just a median average. But it's not possible to have all love. It's not possible to have all positive.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not talking about
It's not possible.
positive or negative.
I'm saying it's not possible to have only one emotion existing in any planet, in any reality.
Yeah.
I've looked at different realities. I cannot see one that everybody have a positive thinking.
Are you omniscient?
I'll come back in the other life in between to share that again. But I've already died and seen a lot of things. But what I'm saying to you is just my learning is you don't have to believe this. You really don't. It's just my learning that in any civilization I have yet to see in our timeline in history, there is no war. I have not seen any timeline that says there's zero war in any culture.
Yeah.
So where are you getting at, Alex? Where you're telling them, like, guys, stop freaking out.
Thank you. Thank you. She just summed it up for me so well. The question was, the question that somebody has is, does that have to exist? So to me, I'm telling to you, it has to exist. It has to exist in whosever reality it is, your reality, my reality, it does not matter. It has to exist. If you are here to learn something, the opposite has to happen. And how many of us are here to want to learn love? Love has to happen. Unloved or not love also has to exist to learn love.
They're just trying to escape.
Okay, so it's not about escaping. It's actually about learning for the soul. It doesn't matter. If you want to learn no reality, reality has to exist.
That's like darkness cannot exist when
Without light.
present.
Exactly. Just plain and simple. Okay, just the basic creation of nature. Every plant has a positive and negative. Every animal has a positive and negative. Every existence has a positive and negative. So the reality of war is here. So somebody said, she summed it up so well, that get over it. It's existing in our timeline. So how do you use that to your advantage and learn that and master that instead of be at the mercy of it, but at the master of it, and choose your own reality? I said, you can choose to walk in peace. And when you choose to walk in peace, you attract peaceful people and you create peaceful life. But when you're worried about war and you're worried about problems, what is my energy focusing on? What is my reality?
Negative.
I will see war, I will see fighting, I have to learn, I have to tell people not to do it. So both exist. I said, you just don't have to look at it.
Whatever you put your focus and energy into what you.
Correct. So people put their focus on those war thing. Of course, it has to exist for them. Yes. People put their focus on peace thing. Of course, it has to exist, is it not? So both. So however many people put positive, however many people put negative, it balance.
Why do you lock the house up when you leave?
Somebody said something. You're about to go. We gotta go. Well, Marcus, oh, William, so good to see you. We're gonna meet. Okay, I'm gonna call you. We're gonna get together. All right. All right.
It's good seeing you again.
All right. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm going past. Okay. I need to wrap up. Okay, guys. Any other questions before we go? Brian, did you get that?
Yeah, we're good.
Can you get closer to your microphone and say something?
No, we're good. I mean, I realize that each of these energies, I don't know if it's paradigm, what the word I'm looking for. I know it has to exist, but I was specifically talking about the Middle East, and it seems like some of those people never seem to get out of that energy. And
correct. It's actually an important.
Is it ever going to change for them, or is
Well,
that just the place?
So let me ask you a simple question: is it ever going to change for them? Let me ask you a simple question. Hold on. Let me drink. Okay. So when you create a beautiful university like Harvard and Yale, do you want to dismantle it right away for no reason? Well, I have news for you. Israel and Afghanistan is actually a very important classroom for the soul. Okay, the souls that needs to go there will continue to sign up. They actually just waiting list to go there. I don't understand some of them, but they still have waiting list to go down there. So that is actually going to happen. I've looked at it in the future to see how long I have not seen the peace line in that place. So it's like people who want to experience war will go there. Because right now, there's not as many places to experience war. So if you want to go, if you want to learn if you are a soldier soul, like we call it the warrior soul, if you're a warrior soul and you want to go learn war, where do you go now? Afghanistan, Venezuela. So you see how the space in this world to learn that is getting less and less. In the past, I could go to Japan, I could go to Korea, I could go to China, I could go to Germany, I could go to many places, yes?
And then soon it'll be relegated to a video game.
There you go. So to say that in our timeline, that has to exist. In my timeline, it has to exist. And in your timeline, it still will have to exist, correct?
Before you go, you got, Alice.
Can you get closer to the microphone again, please? Brian?
I'm right here. I wasn't saying anything.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't you. All right.
That was somebody else speaking.
Okay. Thank you, Brian. Does that make sense to you, Brian, what I'm talking about?
Yes, I got it. I got it.
Okay, good. Perfect. Thank you.
Just from the 3D, three-dimensional perspective,
Yes.
I can't help but feel like, I wish these people that are going through what they're going through wouldn't have to go through it. I realize from the higher perspective that it's fulfilling their soul journeys and exactly what they need. But
correct.
At the same, I understand those things, but
So pause for a second. Brian, the question you ask for yourself is, why are you making that your reality?
why is who making that their reality?
No, you are being impacted by their struggle. Why are you making that your reality?
It's an observation.
Okay.
I'm not dwelling in it. It's more of an observation.
Yeah, for everybody, this is a tip for everybody. Even if you're observing something, if you're impacted by it, don't shy away from it. Literally, don't shy away from it. I've helped so many people to be powerful with it. If you're affected by something in the news or something in the net, that means it's part of your experience and your reality, is it not? Just choose what you want to do about it. Like, I'm pro this, I'm do this. Just choose what you want to do and you're going to feel so good about it. Don't just sit there and not do about it. You sit there and not do, it's just going to keep brewing on you. If you sit there and says, okay, I'm going to do my part. What is my part? My part is to go help as many people to understand this. And I'm going to touch one soul at a time, one person at a time. Who's suffering from the war? I'm going to see if I can be a pen pal to somebody. How to get them to get out of that country. One soul at a time will make you feel so much better. Or create an organization where somebody can go over there and grab kids and bring it over here. And if you do that, it makes you feel so much better. Make sense? Yeah, don't feel bad about it. I just wanted him to ask him to see where he's at about it. And it's okay, because some people, I have a client who used to be, when he watched TV, he gets so angry when a woman is being abused, or when a news saying that a woman is being hurt or being challenged. The wife actually had to switch off the TV just so he wouldn't destroy the TV, because he was that angry. So that means there's something inside of him that was touched in the past. You get that? Was never resolved.
But doesn't that go back to the suffering conversation that you were having earlier, that, what's his name, John?
Yeah, when somebody creates suffering, it's going to be suffering. But I help him see what is that for him. I actually ask him, what do you want to do about it?
Because
very simple.
To relieve his suffering?
Not to help him see why he's experiencing. I asked him, he felt like I needed to do something. He felt like he couldn't do something before. So I asked him, what do you want to do now? And so he came up with a plan. And then once he came up with a plan, he proceeded. And now he watches TV with no problem. Zero. His wife said, thank you. I don't have to switch it off. So I'm not saying it's bad when you have a feeling. I'm just saying, can you identify it and can you do something about it? You see that? That's all I'm saying. And I know I'm going past my time. This is my one time left. So I want to do it for you guys. And I really want to do it fun. And thank you so much for just being a part of my journey and my life of sharing these messages. It has been such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Namaste.
Thank you, Brian.
Namaste. my friend.
Namaste. Thank you. All right, everybody. And you guys, give your hand to these two young kids.
Thank you for a wonderful 11 years. Wonderful trip.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you at a later date.
Namaste.
Okay.
Thanks anyway.
Yes.
Okay. Melanie, I hope you got something. Bye-bye. Everybody, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Alex. I'll see you soon.
Thank you,
I see
Kai.
all of you soon.
Oh, he's
I
going
see all of you
to
soon.
Yes.
Colorado and Santa Fe or something like that.
Thanks, Alex. Bye.
Bye, Susan. I'm so glad you can join us now in the
Yeah.
same time zone.
I'm
Yeah.
glad that I was able to come to the last one, which was my first one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll see you
because I'm not
soon.
gonna be doing. Yeah, I'm not gonna be doing any more of this. So.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay, bye.
Bye.